Thomas is in Worthing in West Sussex. A warm welcome, Thomas.
Good afternoon, very warm welcome.
Yeah, I know. Is it 30 degrees? Whoa, sweating, drink lots of water.
Right, I'm not a right-winger. I'm definitely not Republican. I would never vote for Trump. But I am incredibly concerned about this perceived justification to encourage abuse, intimidation, humiliation and intolerance. There's absolutely nothing wrong with constructive protest. I think there are many reasons to protest against Donald Trump, but this effigy of him, this balloon, is so petulantly childish, and it is, quite frankly, a middle finger up at the, 63 million people who voted for him. There are better ways to protest this, and the money that's been raised for this balloon could have been put to far better uses. I mean, it could have been donated to a food bank and then more money pumped into a kind of more legitimate, organised protest.
Thomas, isn't this balloon just in the great British tradition of satire? Sadiq Khan, the Mayor of London, mentioned spitting image, which some people remember in the 1980s, puppets of politicians to make them look a bit silly at times. It's probably tame compared to what was happening in that era.
In 2014, we had an effigy of Alex Salmond being built to be burned at the Lewis bonfire, and there was actually a real big protest about this, and I actually think in the end they didn't burn it.
Well, I'm not into burning people, to be honest, so go with that, yeah.
Well, my big concern with this is we seem to be cultivating this environment at the moment where it's actually appropriate to try and humiliate, intimidate and abuse people, and this isn't specific to people on the right. It happens to people on the left and the right. It happens to Brexiteers. It happens to Remainers. I mean, you have the Labour Party at the moment trying to water down the definition of anti-Semitism. You've got politicians like Diane Abbott, the MP, funnily enough, for Lewis, who have been subjected to death threats. And my concern is that by justifying this, people believing that somebody is so intolerant for their belief, creating that thought in their minds, it justifies them to subject them to abuse and threats.
Thomas, nobody threatens and humiliates on the scale of Donald Trump, where he uses Twitter as a weapon.
Well, I mean, again, we're talking about justification, so people believe this is appropriate. I mean, you yourself, you were on, I think it's The Right Stuff last week, saying that if Theresa May was a household pet, you'd take her to the vet and have her put down. I don't think that's constructive political debate. I don't know whether
it's true, though, isn't it? You would. If she was your kitty cat and you saw her suffering like that, you'd want to help her.
I have actually had household pets who have become terminally ill that I've had to put down, so using that kind of analogy is not very appropriate.
That's what a cabinet wants to do. That's what Boris Johnson wants. He wants a job. He wants her off to the vet so he can,
when you drag
cat himself.
When you drag a debate down to the level of referring to people as extremists, as you quite frequently do, I'm a Leave voter myself. You refer to them to Leave voters as being extremists, which is just about as childish.
No, it's the leaders of the campaign. Those Nigel Farage, Boris Johnson, Michael Gove, who lied. Those who financed the campaign. They're my targets. I've got friends who voted Brexit, and some voted for good reasons. Some I would question their reasons, and some feel conned.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you refer to Remainers as extremists as well? Because we have emergency budgets, millions of jobs.
I have.
Day one, end of Western civilization. I could go through the whole list. Let's just agree that people on both sides lie to win votes. It happens in general elections, it happens in referendums, but the point I'm trying to bring this down to is the fact that when you encourage this kind of petulant and childish stunt, which is what it is, you encourage people on both the left and the right to suggest their opponents of you.
I've referred to Andrew Adonis as a Remainiac. There we are. So yes, I do. You get extremes in all debate, but personally, I think satire is a very powerful weapon from wherever it comes. And I defend the right of the Stop Trump people, the Trump opponents, to put up a balloon. And he is a man who's belittled Trump, many people. And I do think he should, if he dishes it out, he should expect something to come back. So thanks very much, Thomas. That was Thomas in Worthing.